All over the world, across several different civilizations, people have come forward with prophetic visions. These visions often come from a god themselves, or in this specific case, Mother Mary. Hi, my name is Brittany, and if you're new or not yet subscribed, welcome, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Mary is a rather important and very well known figure in Christianity. She is the mother of Jesus. I remember my mom having a pretty decent sized statue of Mother Mary in her house growing up. Fatima, Portugal, is a small city. It's dry, rocky, and the hills that surround it are home to herds of sheep and goats. On these hills, there were 3 young cousins that would work with their livestock, Lucia Santos and Jacinta and Francisco Marto. In the beginning of the spring of 1916, the children would be visited by an angel who would teach them how to pray before revealing himself to be the angel of Portugal. They would see the angel 3 times. The angel would implore the children to pray, telling them that they could make amends for the crimes of ungrateful men. Then on May 13th, 1917, the children would begin to get visitations from the Virgin Mary. She appeared more brilliant than the sun and would visit the children for 6 months. According to the prophecy, prayer would lead to the end of the First World War. Word would spread of the Virgin Mary's visitation, and people would begin to flock to the area, paying homage to her. But they wanted proof of the children's claims. And that October, Mother Mary's final visitation would take place. Mary told the children that she would show them a miracle. And then in front of thousands of people, she made the sun dance. Some even reported miracle cures that day, and one newspaper had wrote, "Before their dazzled eyes, the sun trembled." The sun made unusual and brusque movements, defying all the laws of the cosmos. And according to the typical expression of the peasants, the sun danced. During Mary's first apparition, she wore a white mantle edged with gold and held a rosary in her hands. She asked the 3 children to devote themselves to the Holy Trinity and to pray to the rosary every day to bring peace to the world and end the Great War. The second visit would take place on June 13th, or St. Anthony's feast day, and the Virgin Mary revealed to Lucia that her cousins Francisco and Jacinta would be taken to heaven soon, but Lucia would live longer in order to spread her message and devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Both children would unfortunately die during the 1919 Spanish flu epidemic, but Lucia did not, and she went on to become a nun. During the 6 times that Mary would visit the children, she would repeatedly ask them to pray to the rosary daily in order to save the faithful souls from hell, since many of them perish in damnation because nobody prays or makes sacrifices to them. The 3 visions the children received from Mother Mary are referred to as the 3 secrets of Fatima. The first secret occurred on July 4th, 1917. Lucia said that she had experienced an apparition of Mary, where she had seen a vision of hell, demons, fire, pain, and despair. The fate of humankind if it was not saved and led to Christ. Years later, Lucia would write that although the vision was fleeting, it horrified them and made them tremble with fear. The second secret was of the World War that was engulfing Europe at the time of the visitation. She would recommend that the children devoted themselves to the Immaculate Heart of Mary as a way to save souls from hell and bring the Great War to an end. The Virgin Mary may have predicted the end of the First World War, But she also predicted the beginning of a worse one if men did not stop offending God. She also said that Russia, which was teetering on a communist revolution, must convert to Catholicism, or the war would be catastrophic. Lucia wrote that Mary said, "You have seen hell where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved, and there will be peace. The war is going to end. But if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out." During the pontificate of Pope Pius XI. Butter's hitting the tripod, so if it's moving, that's fine. The third secret wasn't revealed until May 13th, 2000 by Pope John Paul II. It was a vision of the death of the Pope and other religious figures. Lucia had said that Mary had asked for secrecy, but when she was ordered by the bishop to tell the truth, she wrote it down and placed it in a sealed envelope with instructions for it not to be opened until then. This is the transcribed text by the Bishop of Lyra. After the two parts, which I have already explained, at the left of Our Lady and a little above, we saw an angel with a flaming sword in his left hand, flashing. It gave out flames that looked as though they would set the world on fire. But they died out in contact with the splendor that Our Lady radiated towards him from her right hand. Pointing to the earth with his right hand, the angel cried out in a loud voice, "Penance, penance, penance." And we saw in an immense light that it was God, something similar to how people appear in a mirror when they pass in front of it. A bishop dressed in white, we had the impression that it was the Holy Father. Other bishops, priests, religious men and women, going up a steep mountain, at the top of which there were a big cross of rough hewn trunks, as of a cork tree with bark. Before reaching there, the Holy Father passed through a big city hall in ruins, and half trembling, with halting step, afflicting with pain and sorrow, he prayed for the souls of the corpses he met on his way. Having reached the top of the mountain, on his knees at the foot of the big cross, he was killed by a group of soldiers who fired bullets and arrows at him. And in the same way, there died, one after another, the other bishops, priests, religious men and women, and various lay, people of different ranks and positions. Beneath the two arms of the cross, there were two angels, each with a crystal aspersorium in his hand, in which they gathered up the blood of the martyrs, and with it sprinkled the souls that were making their way to God. She spoke of visions of the bishop, dressed in white, being shot by soldiers. And theorists believe that this was a prophecy of the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II in 1981. The Pope himself believed that Mary had prevented the bullet from hitting a major artery, and he sent the bullet to Fatima, where it perfectly fit into the original crown of Our Lady Fatima, which is a statue that was built 40 years prior, which is crazy that it fit. Thousands of people have claimed to have been visited by the Virgin Mary. However, only a handful are considered relevant by the Catholic Church. In 1930, the Church decreed that the events at Fatima were worthy of belief. In 2017, Jacinta and Francisco Marto were canonized by Pope Francis in Fatima, which would place them the youngest of Catholic saints. Of course, with anything, there are skeptics. And with the second secret, Lucia didn't reveal it until 1941, which was 2 years after World War II had started, So some believe that she fabricated the vision. With the third secret, some believe that the Vatican didn't release the full vision. Some say that it was a prophecy about the end of the world, or that it would expose deep rifts within the Catholic Church, which would make sense for them not to expose the whole vision. But it certainly does seem as though the children were visited by something. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you've ever had an otherworldly experience or experienced something that you simply cannot explain. Make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button. If you share this video and, go the extra mile, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Videos will drop every Wednesday and Sunday for the entire year, with an investigation at least once a month. So make sure that bell's on so you don't miss a single video. And until my next one, I love you guys. Bye.